Hi guys, I hope you're getting excited for the party and you're getting your outfits as whether you're a hero or a villain. Now, I thought that today it'd start with boot camp in consciousness and awareness. The only way we're going to actually start using all our resources effectively is if we become conscious and aware of them. I normally use the example of a lighter. Now, if I can see, a lighter won't do anything unless you actually know how to light it. This one doesn't work. Sometimes happens in life. Um, but what we need to do is start to look at things from a completely different perspective, start to become more conscious and aware of what we have around us, and then how we can start to use it to really have a great party. So, the first thing I'd like to go into is consciousness and awareness. Um, Most of the time, what's happened is because of our social conditioning, we're so head focused that it's actually shut our hearts down. We do things like sports and running and all of that gets your heart rate going and it releases and you can start to feel it, and it's about the only time we feel. And when we're starting to look at training for switching from your head into your heart space, it's important to kind of, rather than think your way through something, start to feel your way through something. We face a lot of external forces coming at us, and it's like, but rather than freak out in our heads and then shut down completely, we need to start looking at whether it's coming from our heads or from our hearts. So someone can say something really mean to me and I could be like, but then I'm like, why does that actually upset me? Is it coming from my head and my ego? And I don't like to use the word ego because we all have an ego, but it's about how we balance that between the head and the heart. So I always go in and ask my heart, and most of the time the answer is it doesn't actually matter, because what does it feel like to you? If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. If it feels good, then start to make the necessary steps to increase that euphoric feeling. You're wondering why I've got chopsticks. It's more for the consciousness and awareness side again, because if you're playing tennis, and that's what we do, and we're doing it all the time, we do it to each other, and it's backwards and forwards and batting the ball. But rather than playing tennis, let's just put the bats down for a second and start to think about that other player. If I stopped playing tennis, are they going to get bored and walk away? So it's up to us to start moving from that, is this my head or is this my heart? And once we start to become more heart focused, you will start to become more stronger. You'll start to become more aware of all the resources at your fingertips and how we globally can start this love wave. Now, one of the massive issues is that they've actually shut us down, kept us separated, and this is a massive thing in 2020, the isolation that we're all facing. And I'm sure that it was, very quick on energy, and the way you'll see it in an everyday life is like, you've been to parties where there's two people, and you've been to concerts or a place that's like, wow. And it's the power of numbers that increases our energy fields as individuals. Now, that's because we're not busy thinking about things, and you'll notice at a party when people are thinking, they just sit there. It drives me crazy. I go like live gigs all the time, and people are at the front just going, they're not feeling the music, they're thinking. And what we need to do is get out of that headspace and into our heart space, leave your head at the door, and bring your heart to the dance floor. So very quickly, on terms of the starting to feel your way through things, What I do is it's, you can start with anything, but I've just gotten these because it's laying and it feels blunt but not, and this is like it feels different. And what you're doing then is you're shutting the mind down and you're starting to bring those feelings to the surface. Because what we do is any animal that's been hurt will shut that side down, so they don't feel it. It's like, ouch, I don't want to feel that. And then we're all got cuts and bruises on us based on how society has projected itself onto us. So it's time for us to actually sit with those wounds and heal them rather than just hide from them. And you'll notice antidepressants, painkillers, drugs, alcohol misuse. That's because we're scared to feel. And like a fire, it can burn out of control, and things can feel that fire, everything rages out of control because I don't want to feel that pain. But once you actually start to feel that pain, and it's going to hurt, but then you become stronger. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I sit with that and imagine that I'm watching a fire burn, and that pain is just going to fizzle itself out because I'm not fueling it anymore. If I fuel that fire, then it's going to keep burning. So I'm going to take you through a quick body scan. So this one was designed to take you internally. We're very external, all the external senses, everything's alive, from the colours to the sounds, but there's also underneath the surface that we don't feel. You're so automatic, let's go. So you run it from your toes, and if you wiggle your big toe, what do you feel? Just sit with it, and you'll start to feel the little sensations. Let go. And then wiggle the rest of your toes, and you'll start to feel those sensations. From the scan, a lot of people go from the head down based on a breathing technique. I find that just shuts you down. I work from my feet up because it's more of an elevation, and you'll start to feel the senses working up your body. So just sit with each part of your body for just a good minute or so and start to feel it. Once you start feeling it, you can move on. You can then, as you progress with this body scan, you'll start to feel where those tension and the blockages are, and you'll be able to start working those out yourself because you're feeling it. You won't be as reliant on external forces to shut that pain down for you. You'll be able to manage that pain. Now, this is extremely important when we're going to get this party started, because there will be lots of pain, but the idea is, rather than shutting our hearts down and let them control the mind, we'll be able to sit with that and use our hearts. Through consciousness and awareness training, we'll be able to start looking at all the resources around us and how we can actually just, use the tools to alleviate the pain. And yeah, so I think for now I am going to leave consciousness and awareness at that, because it's actually a practice for you to start sitting with, is this my head or is this my heart? And start looking at all the things in your life and why they actually upset you. Is it your head or is it your heart? And once you start to open up the heart and start to feel a little bit more, you'll be able to then take that out there and be like, hey, wait, that's a resource, that's a resource, that's a resource, that's a resource. And it's not electromagnetic, or it's we generate that force, and the power is in numbers, and it doesn't matter whether we're sitting right next to each other. It's proven, electricity, the internet, collectively, once we unite, we will create that global love wave. But it comes from you starting to feel rather than think. I hope that this has helped. If you have any suggestions, comments, anything, please put them down. Like, share, subscribe, and get the message out there. Thanks.